welcome back to my channel. I want to go to sleep, but I'm in a lot of pain, so instead, I'm going to take a bunch of comments that people have made about my disability or chronic illness over the years and rate them on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the most offensive and 10 being, I don't know, like, funny, I guess? Anyway, let's go! Full disclosure, some of these comments are made in person and some of these comments were made online, and I don't have screenshots or evidence for any of them, but for many of them, I do have friends and family who are witnesses. So if you don't believe me, my mom would stand up for me, or my friends would stand up for me, and they don't lie. I also don't lie, and it'd be very weird if you didn't take my word for this. We have a security guard in Disney who was asking my friend questions about if I could get out of my wheelchair and walk, or if I could stand, and continued to ask my friends the questions on my behalf, even though I was answering all of them. 0 out of 10, ableist and maybe sexist, because my friend is a man. Next up, we have an ex-coworker who said, "Ariel, can you look me in the eye when I'm talking to you? Also, what's wrong with your legs?" 3 out of 10, very rude but very bold. Not many people are that brave. A guy online once said, "I didn't know you were disabled. That's so inspiring." I don't want to brag, but I had an Emmy nomination by the age of 16, and I made my off-Broadway debut by the age of 19, so all I'm saying is that if my disability is what makes me inspirational, you're not doing your research. 0 out of 10, know your BMO lore. Another guy once called me an inspiration for posting a picture outside of a concert venue with my crutches. 1 out of 10, once again, so bold, so brave. Actually, no, I'm gonna give a 0 out of 10 because I just remembered that guy went into my sister's DMs and ranted about how I'm faking my disability for attention. I once got out of my wheelchair to stretch and my friend yelled, "Oh my god, it's a miracle!" 9 out of 10, it was funny. It was in front of Disney security though. Once again, later that week, in Epcot, I got out of my wheelchair to stretch and my friend fell to his knees yelling about how it was a miracle. 10 out of 10, funniest thing I'd ever witnessed. I did cry. It would be a 0 out of 10 if anybody else did it. After my endometriosis surgery, a married man went into my DMs and asked, "Oh, does this mean you can have kids now?" Negative 100 out of 10 because that's not a topic I ever talked about. And I'm not gonna talk about because it's no one's business. Back at a job I was working at, a man picked up my crutches and said, "I'll just put these over there. It's really okay." And it was like over 10 feet away. My sister yelled at him. 0 out of 10, don't touch anybody's mobility aids if you don't ask. I recently had an Uber driver who recognized that I was cosplaying Victor on my way to a convention and realized my mobility aids were not props and said, "Whoa, it's so cool that you found a character that's just like you." 10 out of freaking 10, bro. Yes, I also think it's very cool that there was a character like me. This is why representation matters. Also, it was the first time someone saw my disability and saw my cosplay and was like, "Yo, that's awesome." But like in an incredibly non-toxic way. Like it was very, very positive. Back when I worked at a summer camp, there was one kid that thought my crutches looked so cool that they referred to them as my wizard staves. 100 out of 10. You made me feel very whimsical. When I was in Japan, but at the airport getting ready to go back to the US, the flight attendant saw that my crutches were baby pink and had a little cinema roll charm that I won in a crane game there on it, and they said that they were very cute. 10 out of 10, they were so sweet, so nice. I wish people were that nice at American airports. There was once a woman at TSA who kept pushing my crutches farther and farther away from me down the conveyor belt. She did not work there. She was just trying to get her suitcase, and she literally pushed my crutches away from me like 3 times before realizing they were a mobility device, and she was making my life harder. 2 out of 10 because she became self-aware at some point. Every time a dog comes up to me and I sit in my rollator, they get really excited because it means I can sit down and give them pets. 100 out of 10. There have been at least 5 dogs who've been very intrigued or excited whenever they see me with a rollator, and I just think that's really cute. And it's worth noting that I'm actually a little bit afraid of dogs, and it's helping me get over it a little bit, which has been nice. Oh my god, I almost forgot literally like one of the worst ones. I was in line for a ride at Disney. It was specifically the Frozen ride in Epcot. And this woman turned around and looked at me while I was in my wheelchair and like sort of waved, so I was like... And then she turned around again, crouched to my eye level, and spoke to me like a toddler and said, "Aw, are you having any fun?" I was so shocked that I like choked on my spit and couldn't reply. 0 out of 10, infantilization is not cool. That's everything I can think of right now. I hope this video was informative, entertaining, I don't know. Just don't be like the people that got low ratings. It's not cute. Ableism's not cute. But anyway, please remember to like and subscribe if you want to see more of my shenanigans, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye! Can you tell this video was filmed at 1 in the morning? Like, my voice is so low right now. I am a soprano.